Welcome to another episode of Daily Dose by Dr. Karthika. Today we are dealing with Aphorism 30 to 33, that is, medicines are superior to natural disease. In Aphorism 30, Master Hahnemann explains how a homeopathic remedy is called superior to a naturally occurring homeopathic agent. One is because of the capacity to regulate the dose, that is, we can select potency and we can determine repetition of dose according to the physician. Because of this, the human body will be much more powerfully affected by a medicinal force than that of a naturally occurring homeopathic agent. The second point is the natural disease is always cured and overcome by a suitable similar homeopathic remedy. Hence, it is proved that the homeopathic medicine is stronger than the natural disease. Therefore, the aphorism 26, that is nature's law of cure, is proved over here. There is a stronger force which is always similar to that of the weaker one will extinguish the weaker force. Now moving on to the 31st aphorism. Here it mainly deals with susceptibility and stating that natural disease is always conditional. So the aphorism starts with explaining what is inimical force. Inimical force are all those agents which are capable of altering the state of health and producing signs and symptoms. Now the inimical forces can be two, that is partly psychical and partly physical. Psychical means all those mental causes like stress, anxiety, grief, fear, shock, etc. And physical will come under telluric or climatic change in diet and regimen. All this comes under physical. Now both these causes are capable of altering the vital force. A homeopathic agent is always conditional, that is, a naturally disease causing agent is always conditional. They are called conditional because of these two reasons. One, the person has to be exposed to the disease causing agent for a sufficient amount of time. For example, if a person is living in a deep, damp, moldy room for many years or many months, then this person is continuously getting exposed to a disease causing agent. Therefore, later on the patient the person can develop respiratory complaints because of continuous exposure. The second point is the person has to be susceptible to the specific disease causing agent. For example, not everyone who are eating an outside food will get a vomiting or diarrhea. Now H.A. Roberts has also made a statement that one man's meat is another man's poison. That is, some people will get affected by outside food because of their matching susceptibility. So unless and until the susceptibility of the patient matches with that of the naturally occurring disease agent, the vital force will not be altered and vital force will never produce signs and symptoms. It is because of these two conditions we call that natural diseases are always conditional. That is, they are not capable of producing disease at all times and in all persons. Only when the vital force get deranged, it will produce abnormal sensations and functions which we call a disease. Now moving on to Aphorism 32, here Master Hahnemann states that how homeopathic medicine or the artificial homeopathic agent is unconditional and superior. It is because of the 5 factors, that is, medicine can produce an effect upon a person at all times under any circumstances and on every living human being. That is, irrespective of the time, like if it is a morning, afternoon, night, or summer, winter, any time a homeopathic medicine introduced into the living body will produce alteration in sensation and function. Now, when the dose is large enough, it will produce the peculiar symptoms of the particular drug. Example, if pulsatilla is proved, it can produce a thirstless fever when the dose is ample enough. Similarly, if Rustox is proven, it will produce muscle pain which will be ameliorated by continued motion. That is, when the dose is large enough or dose matches the susceptibility of the drug prover, they will produce peculiar symptoms of that particular drug. Now, the last point is every living organism is liable to get affected by our medicinal force because of the superior nature. In Aphorism 33, Master Hahnemann says that every living organism is more liable to be acted on and be deranged by the medicinal power than that of a homeopathic agent or infectious miasms. That is, the state of health can be deranged by a medicinal power which is superior to the natural disease causing agent and also the miasms. Now, this superiority comes from the unconditionality of homeopathic remedy. Now, this superiority comes from the wide range of potencies we have and also the factor that the homeopathic physician can repeat the medicine as per the necessity of the patient or the drug prover. and also the homeopathic medicines are unconditional. Now in the footnote of Aphorism 33, Hahnemann states about the genus epidemicus, that is in 1801 when there was a scarlet fever that was spreading through the conning slatter. Master Hahnemann observed that all those children who had already taken belladonna, which is capable of producing symptoms very similar to that of the scarlet fever, were protected from scarlet fever. This gave him the idea about the preventive capacity the homeopathic medicine has, that is the capacity of homeopathic medicine to become a genus epidemicus. Therefore, he concluded that if the medicines can protect the vital force from a disease that is widely spreading around, then it means that the medicine has a superior power over the vital force, much more than that of the natural causing agents. Therefore, when this question is asked, what all aphorisms, you have to write aphorism 30 to 33 and always remember to add about the footnote 33 regarding the genus epidemicus, or the capacity of a medicine, homeopathic medicine, to be preventive.